Backyard Baseball 2001 is back, and we are going to be doing a new player tier list as there have been some changes to a couple of the players, and they've added in most of the pro players as the game will be finally releasing on Steam, mobile, and I would assume eventually console. Hey guys, I'm Rob. I'm here with the Game House, and I'm going to be the one making the tier list. I did the one last time. I'm also the one who's going to be doing pretty much all the backyard baseball content here, most of the backyard sports content here at the Game House. So if you don't want to miss out on any of it, make sure that you like and that you subscribe. Let me know in the comments as well which players you would maybe move around, which ones you think probably could be rated higher or lower. I do have some stats over here as well that I will be taking a look at just generally to get an idea, but this is going to be a relatively longer one, and what I want to say as well is you have to keep in mind, sorry I'm getting all my stuff up, but you have to keep in mind that a lot of these players, right, are they've changed, right? Like I believe both Kawaguchis changed between games, and not just that, some of these pros are going to be better or worse than the other ones, so you also need to kind of keep that in mind. So I'm going to be starting by quickly just doing a D tier list, and I'm going to try to also kind of rank the pros, because like all of them are better than most of these kids. Not all of them, but most of them. So I'm going to make sure to keep that in mind with these rankings. So some of these pros may be in D tier, but they will be better than some of the other players, most likely. So yeah, let's get into it here. We're going to start off with the bottom tier list with D. So where is Ricky? Ricky is kind of the worst player in this game. There's no doubt about it. Not much else to say here. Kimmy also gets to go down here. Where's Gretchen? Gretchen gets to go down here as well. I'm looking at the one that I had made earlier. Reese does have a small buff, I believe, when playing with Jeter. That might be in the 2003 version. I can't totally remember, so we'll definitely do that at some point. But he's still pretty awful. Lisa Crockett as well gets to go up in here. Where's Jorge Garcia? Also pretty bad, if we're being honest. So I believe that makes up most, if not all, of the bottom tier players. I think for this list as well, I'm going to be putting Billie Jean Blackwood down here. She does as well have a nerf, unfortunately, when playing with Markey. So that makes her honestly really bad, and a player that you don't really necessarily need on your team. Along with this, we are going to be adding in a couple other players. Let me get them in here real quickly, because there are just some that really weirdly are just not good at hitting. It doesn't make a whole ton of sense, but where in the world? I have to remember what he looks like here. I believe this is him. Marty Cordova as well. He'll go at the top of D tier, but guys, like he's just I think arguably the worst of the pro players. He's not really great at anything, and I think he's kind of the only one that really truly belongs down here. When I'm looking at it again here, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody, but he's just not great, and so because of that, we're going to put him down there in that D tier. If you're going to pick pros, there are a lot of better pros. I'll put it that way. Another one that's, let me see here. Who else am I missing? I think, unfortunately, even though I think he turned into a lot better player, another one who I think I'm going to put down here is going to be Carlos Beltran. Where is he at? That's Jeter, right? So where the heck is Beltran? No, that's Jeter. So this is Beltran, right? I think this is Beltran. So, you know, Carlos Beltran, I'm going to look up all their pictures here. Carlos Beltran is fine. Like, you can use him but he's not exactly my personal favorite. I think that there are quite a few. Yeah, that's him. Okay, so there are quite a few better players than Carlos Beltran, but you know, he's okay. He's good defensively. That's really about it. So that's going to be why he goes down there. There will be one more that I'm going to be adding down here, and it's going to be Ernie Steele. I also just you could convince me. What the heck is Ernie? There you go. You could convince me that Ernie deserves to be up in C tier list. He was on my last one, but again, the game has changed pretty significantly, you know, by this point. So it's 4 years later. There are a bunch of pros added, and they've changed up some of the stats, as I've talked about. And Ernie just is kind of that guy for me that I don't think is bad, but I also just don't really think that you're going to want on your team. He's just going to get to sit down there in D tier list. But that'll do it for D. I wanted to do that one really quickly. We're going to start heading into C here. And one of those players is going to be, where the heck is she? Sally Dobbs. Sally is okay. I wouldn't say that she is somebody who you should be putting on your team very often, but I do think that in the right circumstances, she does get a buff when playing with Ronnie, which makes them both kind of okay. Sally's a decent pitcher. She's okay on defense. She's just kind of slow, and her hitting's average at best. Even in the behind-the-scenes stats, she's actually got a decent overall. I also really struggle personally with her swing. I just don't really like playing with her, so she gets to go down here. We'll put Ronnie down here as well with her, because I think that they are really, you know, players who... where the heck is Ronnie? Give me a second. He's around here somewhere with that goofy looking face. There he is. Okay. They're two players you need to kind of be able to play with each other if you're going to use them at all. But the problem is that Ronnie gets a nerf and it makes him even worse. So you have to weigh whether or not the buff with Sally is even worth it. To me, I don't know that it is, but I do think that, you know, I do think that it's something that you could do if you wanted a little bit more of a challenging playthrough. Yeah, I guess that's how I'll say it. The next one, let me make sure I get this right as well. Yeah, the next one's going to be my boy Dimitri. Dimitri's much better in other games. Specifically, he's very good in the football games, but he's just okay here. He's got some pop in his bat. You can use him in terms of pitching as well, but he's just not super fast. He's pretty average on defense. He does give you an okay first baseman or third baseman if necessary, but I think there are a lot better options out there, and because of that, he gets to come down here into C list. The last one that I'm going to put down here is Markey, at least of these players. Markey can be good. You can even see it down here. There are many different buffs and nerfs that he can have, right? If he is playing with Billie Jean, if he is playing against the White Sox or the Red Sox, he's actually a pretty good player, but there's just so much conditional formatting for him to actually be a player that you can use on a regular basis. So, you know, for me, it was a pretty easy decision to put him in here in C list. Again, you could argue that he could go up there and be a little bit better, but for right now, this is where he's going to go. The next one is going to be the Big Hurt. He's going to be the first one down here into C tier list. While he can absolutely scorch the ball, and I mean, like, he can hit really well, and he can really weirdly pitch well. He's super slow. He's not a good first baseman at all. I really think they gave him pitching just because, for the most part, he was a DH and really nothing else. Also, funny enough, in this game, he has been replaced. I gotta look it up here. Give me 2 seconds. There's he's got a new name in this game as well. His name is, where is it? Oh, shoot. I'll have to change that here in a second. But Chase Wilton is his name. He's one of the 3 players who decided not to get added to the game. I don't know why he decided he didn't want to give his rights to, Playground and them to be able to, and to the devs to actually use his likeness in the game. But he's one of the 3 players who didn't. He's going to go down here in the C tier list. And if you're looking for him in game and you want to play, there is no White Sox representative now. It's just Chase Wilton. I believe he is wearing White Sox colors though. So Frank Thomas is in the game, but kind of barely. Next on that list is going to be, where the heck is he? Jeremy Burnitz. I constantly forget that he is in this game. He wasn't like a terrible player or anything in where the heck is Jeremy Burnitz? I gotta remember what he looks like too. Jeremy Burnitz wasn't like awful in the game, but he's just not great either. When looking at his stats, like he can make good contact, he's decent in the field, but he's relatively slow. He can't pitch at all. And I think that, when, again, there are a lot of pros who are all like supposed to be essentially the all-star team, right, on this game. I think that there are plenty of better options for the outfield than him. And he's going to be, one of the first ones, unfortunately, to be thrown down here at the bottom. Another one that I'm going to put down here is going to be Alex Gonzalez. Alex Gonzalez was a pretty good player for the Marlins back in the day, but he's really pretty fast in this game, but there are better speed options. He's pretty good defensively, but there are better defensive options as well. He's just not necessarily a player that stands out, not only on paper, but when you're playing as him as well. I have used him in the past. He's not bad by like any stretch, but he's just not necessarily the guy that you're going to go to and be like, oh yeah, like this guy's really good. Like he's one of my top choices. I mean, there are, let me see here. Speed wise, he doesn't even really make it into the top 10, does he? Yeah, he literally just barely makes it into the top 10. Even like Raul Mondesi, Barry Larkin, we'll get to Barry Bonds here in a little bit, Kenny Lofton, like they're all better defensive or speed options, and most of them are better or pretty much as good as he is in terms of defense. So he's going to be down here in the C tier list. I'm going to see if there's anybody else. I think that's going to be it for this tier list. Yeah, like I said, I moved Markey down as well. It just felt like it was time for that to happen. But the next one, let me find her really quickly. One of the players who is going to move up, is going to be, where is she? Is going to be Vicky Kawaguchi. She's going to make it just to the bottom. She got buffed enough in this game. She was awful. I probably ranked her a little too high in the last one. But she is pretty fast. She's very good defensively. She's a nice bunter to have on your team, and she can pitch a little bit. She's pretty consistent in terms of being able really to get on base and steal bases. Again, there are faster options. Even Alex Gonzalez is faster than her, but in terms of like the actual kids who are available in the game and not just the pros, she's going down here into the B tier list. Very glad though that she did get a buff, because I think it was a necessary one. When looking at this, she's just, she's a fan favorite, and it felt like they really did need to give her a little bit of love, in my opinion. The next one is going to be, let me make sure I have my thing here right. Yeah, the next one's going to be Annie Frazier. This one's partially a preference for me. I like the way that she swings. I think she's a very consistent line drive hitter. Personally, she's got some speed. She's okay-ish defensively. And I don't know, she's just an overall okay player. I think she is very middling, but I do think that she's better than pretty much every one of the players, at least the kid players who are below her. But she is about right in the middle for me. I think that there are still some much better options than her, but she's one that if you really wanted to go with somebody on your team, you could put her there. The next one is going to be a bit of a bummer for me. I do like him, but I don't think that he is somebody who... he's not somebody who I think that you can put on your team on a super regular basis, but I do think that he's pretty good. Where the heck is he? Where is that sucker? I'll give it away here. I cannot find him. What the heck? Where's Tony Del Vecchio? He's in here somewhere, right? Or did they forget to put his picture in? All right. Mikey, Pete. There's Tony. Okay, I was looking for the sucker. Tony's a really nice catcher or third baseman. He's got a really good arm, actually. At least in my opinion. I think he's a super solid player overall. And he's got a pretty good bat, but there are better batters, there are better defenders than him, and he's just kind of another guy on the team if you want that, I don't know, the Italian Del Vecchios, on your team. I think that is absolutely fine. He is somebody who does get a slight buff from playing against his sister, same for her, back to him, but his biggest thing is that he's got a good arm. Otherwise than that, he's pretty average to above average. He did not get any buffs realistically between this game and the next one. Obviously, they added, instead of the 4 balls per stat category, they went all the way up to 10. So, no real surprises there with that one, but still a really rock solid player and one that I think, you can absolutely put on your team and you're going to be fine with that. I'm between 2 here on my next one, but I think I am going to go with her. Where the heck is she? Stephanie Morgan. It's kind of a bummer that she's not better. I really wish that they would buff her a little bit, and maybe in future games they will, because I know baseball's supposed to be her sport. Maybe it's because she's a poser or whatever. She's I don't know, she thinks she's really good, but maybe she's just really not. But she's all around an okay player. She's not the fastest. She's definitely not the slowest. She's an okay line drive hitter. Not much power for her. She is solid defensively, but not your best one. I have played so many times with her being one of my number 1 players in terms of making errors. And I don't really love her swing half the time. But she is a good enough player for sure that you shouldn't feel bad about putting her on your team. I think that she's pretty solid. Without a doubt. There is one more player, by the way, that I accidentally make sure here. There's one player that I did want to... okay, there was another player I was going to put here, but I have moved him down technically. Dante Robinson. I've moved him down from what he was. I had him pretty consistently on my team and at the very top of B tier. He's going to kind of sit down here at the middle-ish part of B tier. He's very fast. He's pretty good defensively. He is one of the worst hitters in the game. He is somebody who drives me absolutely bonkers to try to hit with. He's just, you'll occasionally get, a line drive here or there. If you get a power-up, use them. I don't really use power-ups in my playthroughs, but yeah, man, I don't know. He's fast. You can lay down some bunts with him, and he's solid in the outfield for you. But other than that, you don't really need him on your team. But he's good enough to where if he's your 9th option in this game, then I think that's completely fine. Next up here, yeah, this one's gonna make some people upset. They did give him a slight buff. Where the heck is he? Yeah, they gave him a slight buff, and he's realistically a very underrated pitcher. But it's going to be our boy Kenny Kawaguchi here. I can already hear it in the comments section. Leave me alone. I know he's a fan favorite, and I love Kenny as well. Like, he's an awesome little dude, and he's a really fun player to have on your team, but he's just not that good. Like, even looking at the back statistics, which you can go to the Game House to check those out. I have them there. He's, I think, a 72 overall, which would make him, let me see here, like very much near the bottom of players. Like Ronnie Dobbs actually has a better overall in the game than Kenny Kawaguchi. But that's not to say that, again, like the way that some of these players play, like just because their technical stats aren't necessarily the best or the same, like he's still very good. So I think that you can put him on your team, and he's an underrated pitcher. He's got, let me see here, where's his pitching stuff? Kenny, here we go. Kenny Kawaguchi, he's got an amazing, crazy ball. He's got one of the best changeups in the entire game. Like, you can use him. He just kind of runs out of steam pretty quickly, and he's not necessarily your guy that's going to be like your best pitcher, but like he can easily be your number 2 if you want to use him that way. It's just, if we're doing a tier list, which we are, that's kind of where he's going to be. All right, we are getting close to being done here. There is one more kid that I want to add to this list, and it's going to be Angela Del Vecchio. Angela, solid player without a doubt, can hit and is a very good pitcher. She is pretty bad at everything else. She is so slow that if you don't hit a home run with her or get one into the gap somewhere, she's could realistically get thrown out at first base. But she has one of the best arms in the game. She, funny enough, is another one who's like, her overall is actually one of the worst in the game, but because she's so strong in terms of her power and she's so strong in terms of pitching, she's definitely a player that you can consider to have on your team, with especially the new, pitchers that have been added to the game in terms of pros. I was considering putting her in A, and because I thought maybe I was a little harsh on her before, but I think B actually this time around makes more sense than the 1997 version, mainly again because of the fact that she can hit for power, and most of the other pitchers in this game can't hit for anything. So she does give you that balance, but dude, again, if you're not hitting a home run with her, like, she's pretty terrible. So I think B tier makes sense for her right now, but you could convince me that she should be in the A tier. Let's head into the actual players as well. There are some that I think need to be going down here into the B tier. I know I've missed some of these guys, but we're going to start here with Mike Piazza, actually. Where's the pizza man himself? Let me see here. There he is, Mike Piazza. Mike Piazza has a very solid bat. He's one of the best hitters in the game. He's also, according to this, very smart. So at least with his AI, he's going to be pretty good, although you don't need that. The problem is, outside of his hitting, he is awful. He is, I believe, the slowest player in the game. Let me check real quick to make sure of that. Yeah, Mike Piazza is the slowest player in the entire game, which is kind of a bummer. His defensive score is nothing to write home about, and he can't really pitch either. So this is just as I remember. I did not play 2001 before putting this back out. I mean, I did like a year ago, but obviously I did not get an early copy of the game before making this tier list. So he can hit. He absolutely can hit. And if you are okay with having somebody who is even slower than Angela on your team, then great. Like, that is totally fine. I just don't. There are better catchers in the game. I think even Tony is a better catcher than Mike. But he's there. Like, you can absolutely use him. I just wouldn't fully recommend it. All right, the next one. Let me see here. Where are we at here? Yeah, I'd probably be okay okay with this one. Let me make sure. Yeah. Yeah, he's... yeah, that's fine. He's going to go down here and B. So, we're going to go Jason Giambi. He's surprisingly... I didn't know that he could actually pitch pretty decently. He's a solid defensive guy, but his hitting is surprisingly lackluster considering that's kind of what he, is known for. Amongst the pro players, he's really not that great. Jocinda has a better hitting than he does. Even Dimitri has, is it the same? Pretty much the same hitting as Jason Giambi does in the game. There are better power hitters. He's a solid first baseman. Apparently he can pitch a little bit, but when I'm making my team, he's not exactly one of the first pros that I would go after. So there you go. That's where he's going to be. The next one's going to be Mr. Mo Vaughn here. Mo Vaughn, solid player, without a doubt. He can freaking hit the ball, but he can't do a whole lot else. His defense is okay. He's another one of those guys who's pretty slow, faster than Angela, faster than Mike. But there are so many first basemen in this game, like in so many first base options. I just don't think he's kind of the guy that I would prefer to have up there. But maybe that's just me. That's okay. He is fine to go down there, and we will survive. With him being there. Let me see here. I'm missing somebody. No, I did Marty. Who the heck is this that I am missing right here? Oh, that's Nomar. Okay, yeah, Nomar's not down here. But I just was like, whose face is that? I do not recognize him. Okay, moving on. Sorry for the moment there. Are there any others that I really want to put down here? You know what? Another one I think is going to be Sean Green. Sean Green is actually a pretty solid player, without doubt. Like, we're getting into the guys who I think are actually not too bad. I just think that he is... I don't know. Like, he's fine. You can put him on your team. I think he's one of the better-ish outfielders in the game. But he's not exactly... the player that I would go to, especially with all these stats. Like, there are just so many better hitters and better overall players that I just don't think that he's the guy that I would want to put there. So, like, we'll get to some other players that I think you will want to, but I think he's gonna be close to rounding out the B tier list. Yeah, I think there's a couple more here. Let me Again, let me see. Is there anybody else who I really think needs to go down here? Do I do this to Bags? Yeah, I think I do. All right, so even though I like to use him, I think the last one we're going to put down here is going to be Jeff Bagwell. Bagwell is a really solid player, honestly, and he's somebody who I think you absolutely can put at first base and feel fine. I think he's a really solid hitter. He's a little slow. You can't use him pitching wise, which is fine, but I think defensively he's pretty good too, actually. Dang, do I I've changed my mind. He's going into bottom of A. I'm just looking at like his defensive stats compared to everybody else. He's actually pretty good. You could play him at third. I think he's better at first, but which is natural position in real life when he was playing. So I'm okay with putting him there, honestly. I think he's going to be the one that's going to start us off here in A, and most of these players moving forward will be. I might move some back and forth, but he's going to be the first one that goes there. I'll get into the players next, but yeah, I think it has to be him. He's... Let me look and make sure that I'm not missing any pros, because this is the one where, like, I know the pros, I just don't remember who exactly is doing what. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Cool. He's going there today. We're going to move on to the players here, and we're going to start with Maria Luna. And you're probably wondering, why the heck is Maria Luna all the way up here? Well, because her buff is one of the easiest ones to get. And it makes her like a freaking superstar type player. Like, she's really, really freaking good if you just put her on a pink team. That's it. There are some other caveats where I think maybe she needs to be the very first player you pick for your pink team. You guys will have to test that one out. That was something that I was reading earlier. But, guys, like, she's pretty crazy good if you do that. She's definitely not like top of A or S tier, but she is very much, I think, solidly in A. I had her in B before I used her later on, and she is very good. She's fast, she can hit, she's pretty good in the field, so I have no issues with her there. The next one's going to be the twins. We'll get them on up here. Sydney and Ashley Weber. Again, they, when playing together, are very, very good. They are live drive machines. They are faster. They are solid in the field. Like, if you're going to pick one of them, you better pick both of them. But they are very good players. Like, I think I had them in one of my playthroughs very recently. Up the middle, I had them playing short and second, and they were super consistent. I loved having them near, I think I had them batting 1 or 2 and 5, something like that, because their stats are identical. As they are identical twins, right? And so very, very good players in my mind, and ones that I think, yeah, maybe I'm a little bit biased with this list, but dude, I think they're really good. I enjoy playing as them, and they're just fun. Next one is going to be Mikey, and look, you could convince me that Mikey could go down here, maybe into the B tier list as well, but dude, there's just something about this guy's power. He is pretty crazy good in terms of that. He is one of the slowest players in the game. And, you know, he's a little bit better defensively than Piazza. But I just think, again, Piazza's, just so you know, because they're very similar players. Piazza's was based on the fact that he is a pro player. Mikey is based on the other kids. You could interchange either of them. Mikey's actually a pretty good catcher himself. I've used him there plenty of times. You don't really want him anywhere other than the corners, you know, third or first or catcher. But I'm happy with him here in the A tier. He hits absolute tanks, man. Anybody who argues differently, they can just get out of here. I have nothing else to say to them. Not that I want to be mean, but you know, just there's nothing else to say. So we'll move on. I think I have at least one more. Yeah, it's gonna be Luann here, who's going to be in the A tier. Luann is awesome, guys. She's one of the best pitchers in the game. I believe even her pitching score, let me check here, has to be one of the best in the game. Yeah, I mean, she's up there. She's a little bit technically worse than Angela, but I think she's got better pitches. The fact that you can use her fastball, I think, so much better. I think her slow ball is really good. She's got both of her hooks are relatively good. The big thing is that she's not very good with the extra pitches that you get, you know, the power-up pitches. But, like, I don't personally care about that, to be honest with you guys, because I don't really use them. And I think that they're, like, it doesn't really matter if they're good. Most of the time, these kids aren't going to be able to hit them anyway. So I think that that's kind of irrelevant when talking about where you're placing some of these players. She's very fast, actually, too. Let me see here. She's one of the fastest in the game. Yeah, she's the third fastest player in the entire game. She can lay down bunts for you. She's a better defender than Angela as well. I personally believe, in terms of just pure pitching, she is the #1 option for that, without a doubt. So yeah, we're gonna move on here to, I believe it's players. Am I missing? Oh no, I got one more that I want to put down here. I'm gonna put Jocinda down here. I'm flip-flopping between her and one other player who you'll see who made it up into S tier. She's got a great swing. She's a very solid defender, without an absolute doubt. But I think that Jocinda is a player who maybe you think that she can hit for power, and then sometimes she can't. She can't really do a whole lot else in the game other than hit and play some pretty solid defense as well. I had her in S tier initially. I'm glad I took her down. The new stats, like now that I can see them and everything a little compared to the last one, you know, she's not the MVP that it says that she is. She's very good. Don't get me wrong. Very, very, very solid. But she's too slow for the fact that she's a contact hitter. That being said, if you need a clutch player, and if you go back and watch my my Let's Play, I believe she was one of the most clutch players I had. When I just needed a base hit, she was doing it. The problem is getting her around the freaking bases was a bit of a chore, and when you are playing as a contact player, it makes it just not as good. So she's still solid, without a doubt, but she's just barely going to miss out on the cusp of being in that A tier, or in that S tier. Now, we're going to round out here. A good amount of these pro players are going to go into A, because not all of them deserve to be in S. So let me start working my way up here to see who else we haven't gotten in here yet. Okay, first one is going to be Mark McGwire. Mark McGwire, you would think would be a lot better in this game. He's pretty average, but he's got one of the best hits, or hitting stats. He's just a little bit faster than some of the other options. Or no, he's not. He's a little bit slower, but he's got better defense than some of the other options as well. I don't know. You could convince me, now that I'm looking at it again, that he might be able to be in B tier. But I do know he's got huge power, and that's kind of what makes him like solid, to be honest with you. He's got a good swing as well, which you have to kind of take into consideration. I might actually put him below Jeff Bagwell, now that I think about it. I think I'd rather have Bags at first base than McGwire, so maybe Bags just can continue to move up. But I think this is a good spot for him. You could convince me to move him down to B, but I think A is okay with me. The next one is going to be, let me make sure I got this right. Yeah, next one's going to be Tony Gwynn, I believe. I don't think we talked about Tony Gwynn yet. Where's he at? This is him. Yeah, Tony Gwynn. Another guy who you would think, I mean, he's like one of the hardest players to strike out in the game, and yet they made his hitting score an 84. His contact is, I think, very, very good. Let me see. Yeah, his contact isn't even very good. His contact should be higher. His vision's very good, but again, when you're playing as them, that doesn't really matter. It takes away from him a little bit. He's very solid. You can play him in the infield. You can play him in the corner spots in the outfield. He's not super fast, but he'll get the job done. So another player that I'm totally fine with putting here. Funny enough, he's even worse technically than Marty Cordova. I just think Cordova's not that good, personally. So maybe another guy that I need to try a little bit more, but I can tell you growing up, I almost never played him, and when I did, I always felt like he was not that great. So there you go. Next one is a guy who I do actually use quite a bit personally, but you know what? Actually, I'm not going to put him there. Well, no, technically these guys are better. Okay, Vlad Guerrero. I always like Vlad. I think he's very solid. His worst part about him is his intelligence. He can't really pitch, which is fine, but he's relatively fast. He's like a B, low C, or low B, or high C tier in terms of speed. I think he's got one of the better hit tools. He's a line drive machine. He can hit for some power, which is great. And I think he's defensively really solid in the outfield as well. I would like to put him up a little bit higher, but I just think that there are guys who are a little bit better. And one of those guys is going to be Mr. Juan Gonzalez. Here he is. I only started using him later in life because I just didn't really care about Juan Gonzalez growing up. But he's this dude can hit with some of the best of them in this game. He's I don't know. I think he's really good. Personally, I think his swing is really solid. He's got one of the best hitting scores in the game. He's also really, really good defensively. His only big problem is he's a little bit slow for the the positions that you're going to be putting him in. So you can technically put him kind of wherever, but I think you could realistically put him at like third base, I think, and be really fine with that. I'm pretty sure he played in the outfield in real life, but yeah, who cares? That's okay with me. Next one's going to be the man who had a ball hit off of his head. Where's he at? Mr. Jose Canseco. He had a ball hit off his head and go for a home run, in case if you didn't know. You should look up that highlight, or I guess low light for him. He's a really good hitter. He's another one of these guys that are a really good hitter. He's just a little bit faster than Juan Gonzalez. He's a worse defender, but he makes up for it in terms of his power. And he's a little bit of a better option in terms of power than some of these other guys. And then, you know, like you could compare him kind of to Maguire, but he's just faster and a little bit better defensively. So no problems there with that one. Next one is going to be, now I want to make sure that it's not just me that's doing this. Yeah, okay. I am cool with this. So it's a weird thing that happened in this game, but I'm going to be putting Pudge, Mr. Ivan Rodriguez, where's he at? I'm going to put him in here in A tier. He is absolutely somebody who you can put on your team. He could be one of the best catching options for you in the game. I just don't love his swing as much in this game, and I think that his bat is solid, but there's another guy on here whose bat is a little bit, only just a little bit worse, but he's faster and better defensively. What's interesting about Ivan Rodriguez that I did not know is that he can actually pitch a little bit too. So he's a nice like secondary arm option if you want him. He's a very solid catcher as well. He can hit. But I think there is one better option specifically for catcher that I will be putting up here, and I'm very happy to be doing so. Okay, we are getting down to it here, and I think there are going to be two more players. Let me make sure that I feel comfortable with these two guys. There's one more player I'm going to put down here, and it's not going to be one that I think some people are going to like. Actually, two. All right, I'm going to do two. All right, the first one is going to be Cal Ripken. Cal Ripken is a very solid player, but there are shortstops that I probably would prefer over him. I think his hit tool isn't as good. He's also a little bit slower than some of the options that I'm going to put up there. And defensively, he's pretty much the same. So for me, that's, you know, fine. The Iron Man is awesome. He's a great player, but I think he's just going to miss out on getting into S tier. The next one is going to be, where is he? Crap, I lost him. Give me 2 seconds here. Yeah, the next one's going to be Chipper. Chipper Jones is an awesome player, by the way. I wish that they could have him bat left-handed and right-handed in the game. It would be awesome to have a switch hitter. They do not have that in this game. I have a feeling in the future, my boy Ellie, because I think he'll be in the next game, there will be, I think, switch hitters possibly in Backyard Baseball. I still very much fully believe that there will be a new game, a new version of these games coming out here soon. It's not just going to be the old games getting released. Chipper's great. I love playing him at third base. I think there are just some better options, but I personally really like Chipper. I think he's just one of those really solid guys in your lineup that's going to hit. He's going to play defense, as most of them are. He's a little on the slower side, but he's definitely one of the players that I always picked for my team. It's just, unfortunately, there are some better options. And I think I'm looking at all these options, and I think I want to make sure, but it looks like we're good. So, yeah, crazy enough, the rest of these players are going to go into S tier. So let's hop into them here. We'll start with Ahmed. He's the one who got bumped up from A tier to S tier. Ahmed is a very, very good hitter. I think he's one of the most, dangerous hitters in the entire game. I think he's got a great swing. He can hit a home run just about anytime, anywhere. Maybe I am being biased on this one. I will fully admit it. He's by far my favorite player, but I just think he's really freaking good. He's fine defensively. He's not that slow. His bat power is, let me check here, it's got to be one of the best in the game. Yeah, I mean, of the non-Pablo / premier power hitters in real life, he is number one. In terms of contact as well, he's actually fourth in the game. He is tied with Tony Gwynn in terms of contact. He does sometimes pop the ball up, which I think can be frustrating at times, but I just think he's just so good. You can't putting him any lower than this, I feel bad about doing it. Again, I know I'm biased. I really do like him, but I do think I see almost everybody play him as well. He's just one of the best, dude. I freaking love him. So that's what he's going to be then. The next one is actually going to be his brother, Amir. Amir is very, very good. His swing is a little lackluster in terms of like within the game. And I think it's the only thing keeping him from potentially being one of the best players in the game. But if you put him with his brother, he is unbelievable. He does lose a little bit in terms of pitching. If you want to just use him by himself, just as a pitcher, I believe he's one of the best pitchers in the game. Let me make sure I got this right. Yeah, he's the third best pitcher in the game. But if you use him and put him with his brother, he becomes one of the best hitters. He becomes a little bit faster as well. He becomes a little bit better defensively. Like, he's kind of able to do just about everything. Like, if you thought Ahmed was good, Amir can be that good as well. You just got to get used to his swing. It's not something that I personally prefer, but I think he is very, very good. Up next is also going to be Keisha Phillips. Oh, I freaking love Keisha Phillips, man. Just an absolute monster. She can do everything. She can hit. She's a pretty good defender. She's fast. She can pitch a little bit as well. She can be that secondary pitcher. I know her pitching score isn't great, but like, she is definitely able to be used as a pitcher, at least in my opinion. Keisha Phillips is like, in terms of overalls for the kids, I believe she's, let me see here. Is she number 2? It's Pablo. And then, yeah, she's the second best player overall in terms of the kids. I just think that, like, she's more of a line drive hitter. I wish she had a little bit more power. That's really kind of the only reason why I'm not putting her up any higher than this. But she is outstanding. You can disagree with me if you would like to, but I would tell you that you're wrong. So there you go. Next is Petey Wheeler. Yep, that's right. He's back up there, dude. Pete is the speed demon himself. He is the fastest player in the game still, even though the Kenny Lofton card thing says that he's the fastest kid. That is still false. It is Pete Wheeler. He's incredibly fast. He can hit pretty well. He's actually pretty solid defensively as well. His speed just kills. You can put him in center field and he'll catch just about everything. No, I shouldn't say just about everything. He'll catch a lot of things for sure. But you can use him to hit line drives. You can put bunts down. You can even have him hit for some power. He's not necessarily like the biggest power hitter, but he's got an 80 in terms of power, and it's really his contact that's actually not as good. So I don't know. Pete Wheeler's unbelievable. Again, you can feel free to disagree with me, but he is an S tier player. I will put him on my team basically every time. Next is, and last for the players, the kids, is the secret weapon himself. Do I need to say much more than that? He's just good at literally everything. I believe he is the highest rated player in the game. Yeah, he is the highest rated player in the game. He can pitch a little bit, but it's really, and what's weird is he has a lot of errors, but like, at least according to stats and most of these other things, he is the best player, one of the best players defensively. He is the best hitter in the game. There's no doubt about that. And he's no slouch in terms of getting on base and running the bases. So he's the secret weapon for a reason. He is the best player in the game. He is the S tier, and he's the only one that's going to go over all of these other pro players. So there you go. All right, let's kind of wrap up these, pro players as well. Some of these are ones that like are my personal preferences to a certain degree, but I think for the most part, I tried to be stay within what's like realistic as well. And we're gonna start with let me make sure I have his picture right. Where are you at, sir? Okay, this is him, Raul Mondesi. Raul Mondesi, I did not realize until I was looking at these stats. He's like really good. I don't really know what else to say. He was surprising to me. He's kind of like Keisha Phillips, except technically a little bit better. He can hit. It's his worst thing, but he's still solid enough. He's actually pretty fast, and he's really good defensively. In terms of like rankings, he's one of the top 10 players in terms of overall stats. It's just that you would desire a little bit more from his bat in this game. It's kind of the only reason that I think he's down here, but he's very good and a player that I think you can absolutely use. on your team. The next one is going to be Nomar. Look, there are some better shortstops in this game. There's no doubt about that. Wait, let me make sure. Is it Nomar? Where the heck is he? Yeah, okay, it's Nomar. Nomar is awesome. I believe they call him Spider-Man in this. I love playing as him. I think he's so good. But the only thing that's keeping him from like really moving up the S tier list, and you could have convinced me to put him down here today, but I like to use him. There are at least two, maybe three better shortstops here on this list. I think that's the only reason why. But if you have an infield with him at third base, even at second base, you could maybe even put him in the outfield and he would be fine. He's just a really good overall player, and one that I think he's got a nice swing. And I think it's fine for him to be up here in the S tier. Yeah, next we'll do Alex Rodriguez. Where's he at? A-Rod, there he is. Look, this was before all the steroids and everything, so his hitting score is actually not that great. It's solid. It's good enough, but he's like very good defensively. He's very fast, and I think that he is a player that's often overlooked by people. But that being said, like, he's absolutely one that I think that you can and should use on a pretty regular basis. He's very, very solid overall. He's a little bit better, a little bit faster than like Cal Ripken. He's going to be able to get on base for you. He's going to be, a guy who can mash singles, mash doubles, I think, pretty consistently, and occasionally hit you a home run as well. So I really like him. There are two better shortstops on here, and we will kind of pick them here shortly. The next one, and this one I think is partially, it depends on your preference, but I'm going to put Curt Schilling here. He's the second best pitcher in the game, at least to me. I think he's really solid, but it's just that I don't personally like his stuff as much as I like Randy's, and I'll rank him here shortly as well. But the only thing that he's got on him is his fastball is not as accurate or as good. His changeup is a lot better than Randy's, but Randy's got such great hooks that it doesn't really matter. Curt as well, let me make sure I got this right. Curt as well is just not as good of a hitter. He's a little bit faster. He's a better defender, but again, that's where this preference thing comes in, because I think Randy's still a little bit better, but it's not by much. Curt Schilling is extremely good in this game, and the fact that they played together is even crazier. The next one we're gonna do Jason Kendall here. Jason Kendall is actually like outstanding in my opinion. He is crazy good, and even like the metrics back it up. He was always my favorite catcher in the game. He's got a great hitting score, a great hitting stats in this game. He's not going to do much for power, but he's a very good contact hitter. He's the fastest catcher in the game as well, like true catcher, at least of the pro players for sure. And he's solid defensively. I believe he's technically a little bit better than, or he's just a little bit worse than Ivan Rodriguez, but he's a better hitter and he's faster. So, I don't know what else to say other than, like, I think he's the best catcher in the game. I highly suggest that you give him a try. You can even put him in the field and he will probably be fine. He is known as one of the fastest catchers of all time. It's like him and JT Realmuto in real life. Like, these dudes, like, most of the time catchers are a little bit bulkier. They're a little slower. Jason Kendall is not one of those guys. I love playing as him. I almost always pick him as my catcher. I would suggest that you guys do the same. Oh boy, where are we gonna go next here? Because we are nearing the top. Man, all of these players are very, very good. And I think that they are all great in their own rights. I think weirdly enough, we're gonna go Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds is weirdly underrated in this game. They have changed his name as well in this to Hugo Hernandez. So if you want to play as a San Francisco Giants player, Bonds did not agree to be in the game. He has not been in a video game in a very long time. He does not like people using his likeness at all. I think this 2001 game might be the last game or one of the last games that he ever allowed for his likeness to be in. Maybe he was like, I'll do it for the kids, but I guess not this time. But if you pick him / Hugo Hernandez, he's an excellent outfielder. I mean, really, like, he's very toolsy. He can kind of do it all. He's one of the best overall players. It's just his hitting score is a little bit lacking. I really don't know why they did that, but his contact is pretty low, actually. Not really what you would like to. You can hit for power, and it's not going to matter too much, but I think, unfortunately, he's got a good swing, too. I just don't think that he's as good as he was in real life, so there you go. The next one is going to be Mr. Sammy Sosa as well. This dude can hit for a ton of power. He's a little slow. He's solid defensively. You can put him in the outfield. You could put him, I think, at third base or first base as well and be totally fine if you wanted to. Again, he's another guy who, weirdly, the contact pretty low. The reason why he's above Barry, though, is he's one of the few batters in the game that has 100% or 100 in terms of power. So this dude will hit absolute nukes for you. And I think that's, why he's there. The next one's we're going to go with Larry Walker next. Larry Walker has, I believe, one of the best contacts in the game. Let me see here. Yeah, he's got really good contact, really good batting power as well. His vision's very good in the game. Not that it matters as much for us. But his hitting score is a 99 combined overall, which is tied with Pablo for the best in the game. His problem is he's a little bit slower, but he's just as good as Sammy Sosa in terms of defense. And I think his swing's just a little bit better in the game as well. So he barely gets over the top here, but I'm okay with that. One of the last shortstops we're going to do here is, I believe this is Barry. Yeah, Barry Larkin. Now, I am not just doing this because I am a Reds fan. I promise. He is actually one of the best players in the game, and he was during that time period too. His hitting leaves a little to be desired, but he's extremely fast, and he's one of the best defenders in the game. He is probably the second best option you can put defensively at shortstop. Again, his hitting is the only thing that lacks a little bit, but I love playing as him. He's still very smooth. His swing is still very good. He was Mr. 30-30 for a reason, right? He's an absolute stud. He can kind of do it all, and I love playing as him. The last pitcher we're going to put on here is Randy Johnson. Randy, baby. Like I said, the big unit, the lefty. He's got the best fastball in the game. He's got the best, I believe it's left hook in the game. He's got a solid enough right hook. His changeup leaves a lot to be desired, but like, who really cares? He can go late into the game, and can hit a little bit, not a lot, but a tiny bit in comparison to Curt Schilling. It's not like he was a great hitter in real life either. He's just so freaking tall that it doesn't matter, but he's got a little bit of power in his bat. I think Curt actually technically could be a little bit of a better hitter just in terms of contact, but they value power more in this game, and I think that, he'll hit you line drives, he'll get on base, and I don't know, he'll get the job done. So I think he's really good in the hitting department, but I think it's just he's so freaking good pitching wise, it's kind of hard not to put him in the game. We're getting close here. I'm gonna put Kenny Lofton as the next best player here. Lofton is extremely fast. He is the second fastest player in the game behind Pete. As I said, defensively, he is one of the best. He is going to be your center fielder if you're picking him, period. He's got a great arm. He's going to catch the ball more often than not, and he's still going to hit very well as well. He's not just a bunt guy. He's got less power, obviously, than Pete, which is probably he's got a little less power than Pete. He is literally just a little worse version hitting-wise than Pete Wheeler, but he is much better defensively, so he kind of makes up for it in that regard, but he's an outstanding player in this game. It's just super fun. All right, I'll put Ken Griffey Jr. here. I think he's the best hitter in the game. other than Pablo. I think he's absolutely outstanding. I love playing as Ken Griffey Jr. This one may actually be biased. They made him a little slower than he is in real life, but he hits absolute missiles. He's extremely good defensively as well. If you put him in right field, he is absolutely going to gun people down. I don't know. He catches the ball. He can run well. He's got one of the best gloves in the game. Like, one of the best reactions in the game. Like, he's all around, I think, one of the best players. The problem is that he's not actually in the freaking game. They've replaced him with a character called Luke Lopez. He is the third and final player who decided that they were not going to allow people to use his likeness. Very random. I'm really surprised with him. I think of him and Frank Thomas were really big surprises. I don't know why. Like, Junior's kind of allowed himself to be out in public more. He's known for taking all these pictures and everything. But again, this one may be a little bit of bias, but I think he has one of the smoothest swings of all time. I think they kind of replicate that very well in this game, and I use him. I would use him in every playthrough. Sadly, he's not going to be in the game. I'll have to see if maybe they copied it with Mr. Lopez here, who replaced him, but we'll have to see. I can't believe I ended up doing this, but I think Derek Jeter is actually probably the best player in this game overall. Like, he's got some of the highest stats of all of them. He's got a 90 in his hit score, which is great, and he is the best defender in the game. He's the only 99 defender, which is so funny because in real life, like, he was actually a pretty solid but above average defender, but he actually made a few more errors than people think. But it's just like, he made such incredible plays and, like, you know, game-changing types of plays, like his diving into the stands, right? His jump turn throws, like, that's what he's known for, and so it's hard not to put him up here. He should be your number one option at shortstop. You could go with any of the other guys that I listed here, but, like, you're missing out. Like, he's so good. He's so smooth. They even have him doing, like, his sidearm, like, low throws from shortstop, which I think is outstanding. He's a great number 2 hitter, and you know, you can lead off with Pete, go Derek Jeter number 2, Griffey number 3, Pablo 4, and I think, you know, you're just those 4 alone will probably win you almost every single game. They're just so good. I mean, you could even go Lofton instead if you wanted to there at the 1 spot, and put PD at the 9 if you wanted to kind of flip the lineup and everything. Like, there's just so many ways you can go with the lineup with Jeter in it. I think he's just unbelievable, and he's my top pro player in this game. So I don't know. You guys can let me know. This was about as long as I was expecting to go through these. I tried to go through them pretty quickly. There are some that maybe you would want, you know, changed, some that maybe you would want moved. But, you know, for me, I don't know. This is a pretty good list, I think. You guys can let me know, like I said, in the comments section below. But I'm excited to hop on and play some Backyard Baseball 2001. If you haven't yet, I probably will have my Let's Play out by the time that you're watching this. So go give that a look as well. I think you guys will be hopefully surprised and enjoy it. I had a great time doing the one last year for the 1997 release. I fully expect this 2001 one to be just as good. So yeah, that is going to wrap it up for us on this one, though. So from our house to yours, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.